and a one fish, two fish, and a one fish, two fish, and a red fish, blue fish, and a red fish, blue fish. All right, I think we're good to go. I've already peeked it on YouTube. That's sounding fine over there. Happy Bugs Bunny Day. Yay. What's up, Doc? Yada, yada, yada. Okay. I'm going to do some special morphs for the current outfit. And then we're going to pick up the outfit after that. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do a few special morphs and then we're going to move on to the other thing. Sexy armor thing. Anyhow, the Bao Bear, the Bea do Sancho. Oh, my door's open. Hold on. All right, we're coming back. And you are covering up chat, so let's not do that. Let's put you over here. So I'm going to do some special morphs for the wraps. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll render out the thumbnails too. I spent the early part of the morning doing most of the material files. I think all the material files are actually done. So they're sitting all over here. So we have a two-part bikini set. It includes flip-flops. It will have a sarong wrap around the waist. And it will have a sun hat and sunglasses. So I'm going to make special morphs for these. I was doing the rest. I've already got most of the special morphs done, except I got to do some more for the top. And then I'm going to do some more for the... There's actually an undone version of the sarong, which basically is a bunch of morphs that aren't going to be on the figure. So whatever I do for one, we can use for the other, for Genesis 8. So whatever we do for Genesis 8, and I just opened the wrong one. You know what? Let me open up my thumbnail file. We're going to render out the thumbnails first for all of this stuff here. And I'm going to save the hat and the sunglasses fitted for Genesis 8. And then we're going to do the thumbnails for Genesis 9. Then we'll do the special morphs. I think let's do open recent. Let's open up the Bea do Sancho thumbs. And Charles, I don't think you're still with me anymore, but thanks for popping in and saying hi. 12 hours. Dang, dude. That is a long time. I hope you get some good rest, my friend. And I just typed, hey, Zach, how are you doing? There we go. There's, check out Charles. We're rendering thumbnails. Nothing too exciting. And then we're going to do some special morphs. Then we're going to take a look. Been doing well, sluggish, but getting there. Yeah, I know. I feel like that every day. It gets worse. I had like this productive period from like 10 to 1. Then after that, and I've already eaten, so that doesn't help. Now I'm sluggish again. Um, okay, thumbnails. Let's do the thumbnails. You know what? I got a bunch of stuff in here. We're just going to clean all of that out. And we're going to do, you know what I don't need? This one I don't need anymore, so we're going to cut that and just hide it over here. And then we're just going to go back to where we were. And, okay, so this is the Genesis 8 bikini bottom. Like, you hype yourself to be productive for renders, then 8 hours pass at 1 a.m. and suddenly you get dirty. Yeah, I have that. I'll wake up, I'll spend some time getting going, and this is usually like 9 or so, and then 10 o'clock. And I'm actually already trying to work then. I'm trying to work all the time, frankly. Uh, 10 o'clock goes around, I can kind of focus strong, fairly decently from 10 till 1. And then it starts to wane. I'm still trying to get stuff done. I'm basically doing stuff on and off all day long. Anyhow, let's render that. That is the bikini bottom for the outfit I'm wearing. This is the Genesis 8 version. So we're going to render that thumbnail. We're going to save that over here, over that. All right, that one's done. I feel like I didn't. There we go. All right, let's get the. We have two versions of the bikini top. Very nice. Can't wait to get it. You know what? I don't think I've invited you to the secret server where you can get the stuff early. I'll do that. I'll try to remember to get you invited into that. What I do is there's a collect small group of people who I let have my products before they ever end up at Daz. If you like it, you could always buy it, but you don't have to. I understand that people have got other things to spend money on. I'll try to remember to hook you up with that invite. There's a leaf pattern. It's not actually beta testers. That's not actually a leaf pattern on there. It's kind of a batik, but it doesn't actually look like a batik. But I kind of like that. And of course, I do the, me. It's it's after the Daz tester is pretty much done with it and is happy with it, and then I feel confident giving it to y'all. It's kind of like a pre-release. Render that thumbnail. There we go. We're rendering that thumbnail. So there's two versions of this top. One version, the top actually comes undone in the back. I still have to make the morse for that, but you can make the thumbnail in the meantime. So that's the regular top. This is the version of the top where it is unconnected in the back, so it will come apart. Render that. It looks an awful lot like the other one, but I still render them separately. Just in case somebody calls me out for it, I can say it's not the same, even though they look the same. Because I know in my heart it was a different one. And it is just another bikini. I don't know how well this will sell. Um, love the flexibility. I think that's one of the things that helps my sales, honestly. I don't model the sharpest stuff, but it is kind of the most dynamic, I think. I like that. Maybe I'm deluding myself. Okay, we have the flip-flops. You know what? The flip-flops don't have a texture on them yet. Uh let's see if we're going with this. I'm going to put the green texture on the flip-flops. And I'm going to try to remember to save that with the green texture. My flip-flops are a little weird looking because they're designed to fit Daz feet. Not exactly how you... Oh no! I vanished into the ground. We have to redo that. There we go. That's better. All right. Flip-flops are done. And actually, you know what? We're going to... Okay, now we have the sarong. There's two sarongs. There's the regular one. And this one actually has little parts keeping it all sewn together. And then I have a version that doesn't have the little parts and can actually unfold completely. We're going to make a special morph so that it actually will lay flat. How is that? It's stupid Blender tricks I've learned recently, how to get this to lay out flat. Anyhow, they both will look the same, but we are going to load in both versions. I'm going to... Oh no, am I on the ground here? I think I went on the ground. Let me try this again. I did load on the ground. Let's not do that. Let's get back in the air. I could see the ground shadow. That's what was bothering me. So that's done. Put that right there. Already exists. Would you like to replace it? Yes. So we're replacing the crappy tip files DAZ automatically generates. So this is the one that will actually open up all the way. If you deforce it, well, by default, the deforce kind of holds things in place, but you deforce it at 100, it can kind of come apart, but we have morphs that'll help you get there. Control R. I think I'm going to actually save a complete outfit too. I haven't done that yet. So we'll set that up right now. And then we'll render a thumbnail for that. Also, I need to save the hat for Genesis 8 and the sunglasses for Genesis 8. No, I don't want to cancel. Okay, we're good. So we're going to come back and get rid of these teeny files and replace them with these versions of this. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get rid of that. Let's throw it in Genesis 8. I'm going to put together the whole thing, and then we're just going to save it as a wardrobe preset with everything. We're using flat feet this time, so I don't have to save the foot pose. I'm just going to parent the sunglasses and the hat to the head. So right now they're modeled for Genesis 9. So we're going to do this. So we need the base bottom, a base top, put the flip-flops on. I have to save the flip-flops with the green color. We'll put the sarong on. You know what? I'm going to change the color of the flip-flops before we move on. I'm going to go with green. We, of course, have the clean versions and the dirty versions. I don't know if anybody ever uses the dirty versions, but I like making them. I always feel like it just gives you a little more flexibility. Okay, and then we're going to just steal the Genesis 9 hat, fit it on there. And Genesis 9 sunglasses. And I'm just going to double check and make sure that hat. I think they parented to the head. Do you understand? You do under special occasions. I sell. You do. Oh, yeah. I was kind of thinking you might, but I wasn't sure sometimes. All right, so we're going to just scale that up a little bit. I'm going to add morphs to this hat. The back of this hat will actually open up so we can bring ponytails out, which apparently is a thing for real sun hats. So I'm going to be able to do that. So we'll put the sunglasses on. Kind of line that up. I might have to scale that a little bit. I really like how this tortoiseshell turned out. I'm going to scale that up just a hair. Hey, she falls down a hill, rips. Yep. All right, we're going to position the hat on the head a little bit better. I'm moving the wrong way. Let's go this way. I'm going to double check and make sure there's actually texture on there. I don't see one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up making morphs to open up the back of the hat for ponytails. Right now, you can see there's an unattached seam back there where I'll add these more. I don't think I've got a texture on that. What color do we want to go with? I think I'll just go with the khaki. And I'm in the wrong folder. We'll come over here. I got the hat selected. We'll scroll down to the sun hat. That's the one that says khaki. There we go. That looks good. I think the khaki goes well with that. That's going to be basically the hero options. So let's memorize. I'm going to actually resave this too as a wearable preset for Genesis 9. And also, okay, you just say sun hat. You just say sunglasses. You don't say G9 or G8. So let's memorize that. Let's memorize those. I was actually researching contemporary styling for sunglasses. So those are sunglasses I can't really afford. Like $600 or something for sunglasses. Okay, I memorized that. I memorized that. We're going to come back over here. We're going to save these. So I'm going to click on you. Save as a wearable preset. I'm going to call this sun hat. And we're spelling hat like that, sun hat. And we're just going to uncheck everything but the hat. No pose. Accept that. We'll render the thumbnail for this in a minute. We'll also do the same thing with the sunglasses, because we're wearing our sunglasses at night. Okay, save as a wearable preset. And we're going to say sunglasses. Looking good. So uncheck everything that's not sunglasses. Accept that. Should be fine. We're going to save a wearable preset once again with everything. That'll be the main outfit. So this time we save everything. We're just going to put that right there. Bayo do Sancho outfit. And I'm going to use an exclamation point here. That lets me put an exclamation point there. So this will be outfit and everything except that. And that way this all loads in. I'm going to resave the flip-flops with the green texture. I still probably have to go in there and check the rigging on those. Okay, then we have a couple more thumbnails to render, because we have rendered thumbnails for everything but the outfit and the hat and the sunglasses at this point. Right, that's looking good. I can go ahead and, you know what, I'm going to hide that. We're going to render this. The invisible woman wearing wearing a bikini set. All right, save that. That becomes the tip file for the outfit. Okay, we're going to hide the hat for a second. That's going to be the thumbnail for the glasses. They're so shiny. All right. That's the one for the sunglasses. Okay, hide the sunglasses. And I'm going to move this so that we don't see those the straps like that. I want to just twist this a little bit, a little easier to tell what it is. I think so. I'm hiding everything, and then we'll just bring the hat back and dang it. And then we render that for that thumbnail. Okay. And overwrite that, say yes. Okay, all the tip files are done, so we're going to turn those into thumbnails. So we're just going to get rid of these janky ass thumbnails that Daz already made and replace them with small versions of these. All right, select all of these. Use the file sizer, resize. This makes a copy at the thumbnail size 91 by 91. Unfortunately, it adds some extra garbage into the name, so we're going to clean that up now. And then we can jump on and knock this out for Genesis 9. So rename that with the power renamer. And this is the extra garbage. And I just want that to say dot dot. Okay, should be good. Pop over the desk, do a refresh. Yay, look at how beautiful those are. I want to cry. I'm going to resave the flip-flops before I forget it with the texture, with the green texture on them. These are the Genesis 8 flip-flops right there. Not that you could see that because it was behind chat. Yes, I would like to replace that. So is this all good? Flip-flops. Oh no, ad's about to start. Oh, it's only Zek in here. I'm sorry, Zek. Time to go to the bathroom and get a drink. All right, accept that. Should be good. All right, we're going to lose the Genesis 8. We're going to load in a Genesis 9. And I'm going to run over the Genesis 9 folder just to do what we did here, rendering out all the thumbnails. Let's come over here. I'm going to set the Genesis 9 to be in the female shape, though. And back over to the G9 folders. Oh, by the way, since I'm slow with... Don't worry about the dress morph. Okay. We will get to when you're ready with the client. Oh, okay, let me remember to kind of do that. I keep forgetting about that boa morph. What is it? Is it head first? Do they swallow them head first or feet first? Which way am I going? All right, we're going to hide that. We're going to hide those creepy ass floating eyes. Actually, you know what? I don't need the eyes. We'll just delete them. All right, select that. That is the Genesis 9 bottom. Head first. Okay, head first. I'll remember to do head first. Heads up. Control R on that. Save. Save. Okay, now we got to run over to the G9 folders. I'm in the right spot. There's the bikini bottom. Feet first is something you haven't been asked about. Okay. Well, if you're not using feet first, there's no reason. I think I did head first and feet first for one, right? But you're not using the feet first. Target file exists. Would you like to replace it? Sure. Okay, this I don't need anymore. That was the entire bikini in one thing, so I'm going to cut that and let me move that out of the way. Paste that over here. Go back. Okay, got this bikini top. I'm gonna hide you. Gonna put that top on. Zoom in on it. Render that. Pre-roll ads are disabled for 11 minutes. Yay. I seldom pay attention to that, but for some reason I'm catching it today. All right. That is that top right there. Okay, I'm going to hide that. I'm going to bring, this is the undoable version of the top, which means the back clasp can come apart. Oops. Okay, that is good. That goes right there. I'm going to have to resave these shoes with the green color on them. There we go. So let's run. I haven't moved the materials over the Genesis 9 folders yet. So we got to run back over to the G8 where I have those all set up. They're all the same. Okay, they're there. They're green. They're attached. I'm going to save these. So we're going to be really careful not to overwrite a Genesis 8 version. When I get tired, that's when I get dangerous. And then I can't keep track of if I'm saving over a G8 or a G9. And there it is. Bio Dos Sancho flip flops G9. Yes, let's replace it with these. Oh, I didn't set the content type for this. Let's do that. These is footwear. Wardrobe, footwear. Does the rest of this look good? Yes, sir. All right, I'll accept that. Let's do Control D. I'm going to move these. That's going to be the flip-flop thumbnail. Dum, dum, dum. Overwrite that. All right, let's go back. All right, flip-flops are done. We're on the sarongs now. And you know what? I'm going to hide these for a second. So that's the one that stays sewn together. Right there. And you know what? I don't need that. Select you. Okay, this is the one that will come apart. So that goes there. I'm done. Okay, and now we're onto the hat. And you know what? I'm going to resave the hat because it doesn't have a texture on it. We're going to put the khaki on there just like we did with the whatchamacallit version. I have the wrong thing selected. Let's select the hat and then apply the. That's better. All right, Control R that. I'm also just going to save this as a wearable preset now that I've got a texture on it. I think this is good. I'm going to bring in, just to make sure, And also we want to make sure that it fits with the glasses. When I initially did this, it didn't line up with the sunglasses. There it goes. It lines up with the sunglasses now. So we're going to save. Sunglasses are fine. I just have to resave the hat. And that's just actually, that's a figure prop asset. So we'll do that right there. Sun hat G9. Yeah, yes. Oh, and I can set the content type now. Yay, feet first. Oh, it will get asked eventually. I kind of, yeah, I think you told me head first with one of them. I think one of them I did both ways. But it's head first we're doing for the Titana, whatchamacallit. Got it. Uh, this is an accessory for the head. And I've got the wrong thing selected. I'm going to cancel that before I do something stupid. All right, sun hat. Let's try this again. Here it is, sun hat. Okay, this is all good. Content type. You are an accessory for the head. Is good. Did I do? I'm going to resave the glasses because I think I want to set the content type for that as well. I think when I saved it initially, I had the content management system turned off, so I wasn't able to set this last time I saved the sunglasses. This is also an accessory for the head. Do we have options? You know what? I'm going to say accessory for the eyes. We're going to call this accessory for the eyes. It's ideal for plant models, but you haven't bought the model yet. Okay. Oh, you've gotten a request for a plant model? A woman eating plant? Is that the Green Mother or one of those others? I think we're good. I think we're good. Did I actually? I need to render the sunglasses. And they're just simple props. I did actually model some hinges in there, but it's not actually posable. No, there are plant models out there, but they're all clunky and hard to find. Oh, yeah, the last time I saw a plant model was pretty old. It might have actually been made for Poser. So that's how old I think it might be. It works perfectly fine, except you gotta, if you're using Iray, you probably have to tune the textures a little bit, or the shaders, or the surfaces, or whatever. I always get confused. Let's replace you with that. And I think I'm ready. I'm going to go ahead and delete, and we're going to reload everything back in. So this Genesis 9. So what we want is we need a bikini bottom on there. We need a bikini top. We need some flip-flops, which are now green. Okay, we're going to add a sarong to that, along with the sun hat and the sunglasses. Okay. And this is what gets saved as the outfit. So this is the wearable preset. And we're just going to come in here and say exclamation point outfit. And we're saving all of this. I deleted the eyes so I don't have to do, so we got our hat, glasses, bikini bottom, bikini top, flip flop, and sarong. And we're not posing the feet, so we don't have to do anything else. Okay, and then we'll render that as a thumbnail. Just as soon as Daz comes back from saving. Okay, that's the tip files for Genesis 9. Now we'll make the thumbnails. So browse the folder location. We're just going to get rid of, there should be 9 of these, I think. And then we're going to shrink these all down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did that thing where I slipped and I made copies. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, resize. Yes. Is good. 1, 2, 3. We're going to clean up the file names. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Rename. Apply. Close. Come in here and refresh. Yay! It looks so pretty. Okay, now I'm going to make morphs for this. There are some special morphs already in here. But we're gonna they all work with it tied together. Tied together. I don't really tie things together. They're fake knots. But that looks like a hot mess, like a knot, so it works. At least I think it works. So I'm going to, because it's just in the way, remove this sarong. And we're going to bring this sarong in. And actually, I'm going to reset that back to its base shape. Control Shift F. Did that work? I think it worked. Hey, Willie, how are you doing? Yeah, that worked. All right, we're going to save this out. We're going to make more morphs. So we currently do have some special morphs in here. And I can't tell what's what because my window's too small. That one right there. If we go take a look down in here, there's all of our adjustment morphs. I still got to go in and clean this up. We got to run to the data folder and delete a bunch of that stuff out. So I have a bunch of down morphs in here. And we have some hanging morphs and some on the ground morphs. So we're going to make some more special morphs. They're basically going to be a lot of stuff where the sarong isn't actually on the figure. I think I'm going to do one where we're going to undo one set, undo the front, and then undo the back. Hey, Rod, how are you doing? Greetings from KC. Our good friend Charles isn't with us tonight. He's sleeping. It's not, he has not passed away. I still have to make a Zek command. I still have to update my Discord commands too. And of course, let's not forget Rod Shelley. There we go. All right, I'm going to export this out. We're going to make morphs. I'm going to do... We're going to run into Blender first, and I'm going to try to flatten this thing out. Or... Yeah, I'm going to try that. Because I can do stupid Blender tricks. And then we're going to work in Marvelous Designer just a little bit. Once I can get that into a nice flat sheet, I can actually fold it up. I did this with a scarf, where the scarf around the neck can become one big long flat plane. And I just really thought that was cool. So the Sinbad outfit sash, you can do that with the sash. So I want to do that. Anything that like can become a square. I'm gonna, you know what? Towel set. I know everybody's done a towel set. It's time Tired, been running your ass off. I'm sorry. Why the hell did you retire? You could have just been a photographer taking pictures of attractive young ladies. But no, you had to go and retire and spend these wonderful days with Joe, an attractive older lady. I don't know. Maybe that is the best thing. Maybe you did. Maybe you are winning, Rod. All right, what am I doing here? I'm exporting that. Oh no, I need that. Oh no, glasses disaster. But no. um. Okay, let's select the sarong. Let's come up over here. Let's turn the mesh resolution down to base. Let's turn the mesh smoothing off. Let's export that out. Let's come over here to sarong G9, sarong undone G9. And the cool part is all these Morse will work with the Genesis 8 version. Fingers crossed. And we're going to accept that. Now you just make them a poser. There you go. Okay, I'm going to put Daz away for a little bit. We're going to put that away. Oh yeah, by the way, happy Bugs Bunny Day. What's up, Doc? Yada, yada, yada. All right, let's do the stupid flattening trick in Blender that I figured out. I figured this one out on my own. I'm so proud of myself. I'm a forking genius. And yes, my Blender still loads in with the default cube after all these years. What's up, Doc? That's right. Barbara Streisand. Ryan O'Neal. Was it Ryan O'Neal in that, or am I getting that confused with uh the Owl and the Pussycat? I can't remember now. Old 60s Barbara Streisand comedies. Or maybe the 70s, 60s and 70s. Anyhow, import, activate import, whip, new folder, sarong undone. There we go. That is a hot ass mess, isn't it? How are we ever going to work this out? Trust me, there's a plan. We're going to use G stretching, a lot of G stretching, because G stretch is magic. There we go. And now I'm just going to scale on the Z, scale on the X, and then can I put that down? And then I could just take you, kind of drag you over here for now. Okay, that's one end. I don't know which end it is. And then we can just grab this other end and do the same stupid thing, I think. Sweet. Look, I like the way it grabbed that. We were able to just loop select that one edge. Sweet. Then we'll just do a G stretch with that. And then we'll just flatten that like so. Flatten that on there. Look at it from the front. I'm going to drag you over here. And now I think, can I just... Okay, one of those needs to be flipped around. So we're going to rotate that 180 on the X, I think. And then let's see how this works out. So we're going to G stretch this, and it should give me a nice line between those two. You're supposed to be... What am I orienting on? I'm not doing something globally. Let me reset origin. set the geometry, the origin. Okay, let's try that. So scale X 0. Okay, that's better. If I grab that, we can see that this goes onto the same side. So we'll just G stretch that out. So now I have that in a nice neat line on that side. Then we can just grab this edge and went all the way across. So we can just G stretch that out. So now I have a nice clean, more or less square border here. Now what I can do is I can just viciously smooth this down. So we're going to do that. The sculpt tool, come over here to smoothing, go to tools. We're going to crank you up to 11. Make that bigger. And the cool part about the Blender smoothing is it doesn't impact the edge. So I'm just going to work that down until it flattens out. At some point, I could just select everything and flatten it on the Z-axis. And then we're going to square this up. So that's probably close enough. Okay, we're getting there. Are you? You're not oriented just right. I can't figure out why you think that is 0. Okay, we're going to open up Marvelous Designer so I can get some measurements in here. What I do need, you know what, I can do this. Scale Y0 on that, right? And then I can just slide you out a little bit like so. And then we can kind of do the same. Do you no longer... Well, that's funny. It did a nice G-stretch selection earlier. Now it's not quite doing it anymore. So scale Y0 on that. And we'll just kind of bring that out. I'm going to re-G stretch these edges again to space them out evenly. I'll do a little bit more smoothing to clean this up a little bit. I can actually go into Marvelous Designer and figure out actually exactly how big that needs to be. Back into sculpting. Can I zoom in on this? Nope. Are you now affecting the edges? How dare you? Why is it suddenly? It was fine before. And it is just looking weird. Can I just pin? How was I not? Oh, I think I have an idea what's going on. That's what I thought. I had the wrong line in place. I selected the wrong freaking edge. That's why it was being weird. I got a weird fold over in there. I can fix this. I can fix this. We have the tools. If I can find the corners. See how it got kind of flipped over here? So you know what? I'm going to re-G stretch that. And then I can re-G stretch that. That should be good, right? And we just redo you. redo you. That's the reason why my selection was funny earlier. Okay, then we can tab. That's better. And if I do this, so the more I do this, the smoother it gets. Okay, now we're going to go to Marvelous Designer. I'm going to get actual measurements from the original one. That'll tell me what I need to do to resize this. So let's head back over to the object. See, we're almost flat. We're almost flat. We're getting there. All right, activating Marvelous Designer. And then I can use this as a morph target for that hot mess of a sarong we got back in Daz. And then I can take this in the Marvelous Designer and make a bunch of extra cool special morphs with that. So I'm going to do a couple more hanging morphs. We'll do a few more on the ground morphs. I'm actually going to do a fold over morph. And I wonder if I can fold it over, then fold it over. We'll try that. Anywho, yeah, here's Marvy. Let's get Marvelous Designer over here, where it's not sitting on top of chat anymore. And we're going to do a file and an open and a project. And we are looking for, I think, any one of these, but I'm going to go with the original one, which is that one right there. And what we're looking for is the measurement of these sides. So we're just going to kind of add this up as we go. And it's, of course, saying, hey, maybe you want that line that you're not clicking on. Hey, maybe I was clicking on this line for a purpose. Oh no, I have a little hole in here. Good. So I'm going to measure that. Oh, you're not a hole. You're just a. Oh, you slid out on my UVs. I wonder if I can. I wonder if I should bother fixing that. You probably can't notice it. Okay, so that says 16961. So we're going to come over into here. We're going to open this up and we're going to look at this measurement right here. And we're going to set that to be 1.6961. Okay, so that's now the same length. And then we're just going to do the width. I think that's the easy part. Just come into here. That says 5351. So we can just plug that into here, 0.5351. So there you go. That's the actual size that it's supposed to be. That is now my morph target. How are you looking? It's not exactly lined up quite right on the UVs, because you can kind of see these slashes are kind of coming through here. And I should be able to actually select these by material zones. So you can kind of see where these are. Those are the ends. So there's a little bit of distortion, but I don't think that's good. With the patterns, I'm only using really weird patterns. Yeah, this will be fine. So this is going to be, we're going to call that flat. I'm going to set this off the ground just a little bit. Where's my white position? I'm going to set that like 3 millimeters on the z-axis, 0.003. This has about a 2 millimeter displacement, so that'll still give it an extra 1 millimeter off the ground. So, all right, we're ready. We're going to export that. Let's use the DAZ preset. Let's come over here to Sarong D9, and yours are going to be flat. And then I'm going to take this. I think I can take this into Marvelous Designer. Let's make sure this loads in. Though nothing quite like doing all this work and then having it not actually work. All right, we have the Sarong selected. Let's Morphloader Pro that. Come over here. Go over to Sarong G9 and choose flat. And here comes the moment of truth. Accept. Yay. Morph created successfully. Let's see. Let's see how my alignment is with this. Is this in some sort of weird spot? That's the beauty of it. That's what I was looking forward to do. I don't know about you, but I think that's just so cool. Doing that with a morph. And you can see how it comes apart. Okay, so now we're gonna go into Marvelous Designer. So I'm gonna take this shape in, and we're gonna pull one side down and then the other side. So we're gonna like open front and open back. And those need to be based off of, I'm going to make sure I've got the right Control Shift F, but I want that based off the female shape. So we're going to dial that in and re-export this to make sure I've got the right shape. I wasn't paying attention earlier. So dial in that feminine shape, select that, just to double check and make sure that we didn't accidentally, yep, we're still at base resolution. Okay. Export that over this one right here. Would you like to replace it? Yes, please. And yeah, we'll accept that. Okay, Marvelous Designer. I don't want to do anything in this file, so I'm gonna say File New. I don't want to inadvertently destroy anything in that file. And let's get in our Genesis 8 female avatar. Let's load in import add OBJ as a garment. We want Sarong, undone, G9. Also, I want the bikini bottom in here so it will collide against that too. So the bikini bottom is just sitting a little bit off the surface, so I want to account for that. So we're going to import add just as an object the bikini bottom. That one right there. So that we can make sure this stays on top, even though it's basically skin tight. All right, now what I'm going to do is, what I want to do is I want to pull the front forward and kind of leave the back where it is. So I think I got a little bit of a clip in there. Or do I? That just might be that might be a little bit of a clip. I might have to pop that over into a Z. I don't know that. I can't tell. It just might be a weird crease in here that I'm seeing through. I think I'm clipping the figure. I don't know. I can't tell. Do I just have a weird hole in here? I don't know. And let's turn gravity off. I do know I want to do that for right now. And I'm going to pin this stuff and try to pull the front out. And I'm going to try to figure out, because I got so much fabric in there, it gets a lot more bunchier than it would in real life. I'm going to try to guess at what parts of these might be in the back and what might be in the front. Anywho, do the lasso pin. I'm just going to kind of come up through here and try not to touch the tie part. come back through here. And let's see how this goes. And then maybe get that pulled down a little bit in the front. I think I need a little bit of gravity in here. I think I'm going to just pin this to the out. You know what? Nope, here, let's do this. Let's stop that. Gravity, let's add just a touch. And I'm just going to grab that, hold on to it. And we're just going to let those kind of settle. And I'm going to call that open front. Kind of like that, maybe. I think I want more gravity. You know what? I'm going to put a pin right there to hold it. We'll just do that. That'll hold that in place. Let's tweak the simulation settings up a little bit higher. All right, let me put gravity back on to full. See how that goes. All right, we're going to go with that. I'm going to call that open front export OBJ selected. I'm in the bottom folder. I actually want to be over here. It's wrong. Let's say open front. Okay, now let's put all this back. Marvelous Designer has eaten up on my VRAM. Okay, that's good. And we'll just undo that. Okay, now we'll just kind of basically pin up the front and we'll open up the back. So just kind of drag you through there. Oh no, damn it. Try this again. That's probably going to be okay. And then I'm just going to add a little pin right here. This one I can move. Can I just get rid of? Which one of you? That's what I was looking for. Okay, I might as well. So having played with this before, we'll set gravity to full. Did I put minus 9800? So we're going to pull that loose. And I'm just going to take that. That's a separate pin than the others. I can just move it around like a little handle. And I'm going to call that open rear. File export OBJ selected. Open rear. Should be good. Yo, Fallen Learns. How's it going? We're making morphs. So those are the only two extra morphs I want for that. We're not going to bring in the flat version and start playing with it. So we can get rid of this. Get rid of that. We don't need that. Let's pop back over into here and load in those two morphs we just did. These two right here. Accept that. It says happiness is a warm gun. Or puppy, depending on if you're the Beatles or Charles Schultz. I'm coming over here. We're just going to check and see how my morphs are looking. So that's the open front one. I don't know about the usefulness of that, but anyhow, it's there now. All right, now we're just going to take the flat morph and we're just going to fold it up and make a bunch of off the body morphs. So I'm going to reset that back to that shape. And in here, file, import, add, obj to garment. And we're going to bring flat in. We're going to use flat. And I'm going to fold flat. I need a little thin bar to fold flat over. Actually, we're just going to drop this onto the ground into another pile. That's going to become another on the ground morph. File. Actually, I'm going to increase my offset on that a little bit. And then file, export obj selected. I'm going to call that on the ground. This is actually on the ground 3. On ground 03. Okay. All right, set that back to that. Can I and rotate like that? Okay, let's get a bar in here and we're going to fold this a few times, at least twice. And maybe I'm going to try to fold it in half too. We'll try that, but we'll see how this goes. File, import, add. I need a bar or an obj. I have a, let's come over here. I think over in here, I might have something. What do you look like? That will do the trick. It's a really thin, long. Not long enough, though. I might have to make that a little bit longer. Or maybe not. It looks like it's just a little bit longer than my sarong is wide. So I think maybe this will work out. I'm going to make this really sticky though. Let's crank that friction up. And then what we'll do is we'll take this and we're just going to put you up above here. I'm going to try to eyeball in. And you know what? We need to move both of these up. We're going to flop on the ground hard over here. Set you just like that. All right, let's see how this goes. Not too bad. Oh, it's off just a hair. All right, so we need to bring it back a little bit more out there. I'm seeing some weird shading in there from sharps. Okay, we're almost there. Almost. That's pretty freaking good. All right, I'm going to increase that. We're going to let this settle, and then we're going to put another fold or two in it. Right, just like that. See how this goes. Okay, my big danger is watching it unroll out the back, but we'll see. Kind of sticks to itself, so maybe it won't do that. There we go. I'm going to do that one more time, and then we're just going to fold it once more, and then we'll put it on the ground. And I'm going to call that folded up. That might actually be the last of the special mores, because I got another on the ground, and then fold it up more. Yeah, I'm not really feeling the need to do more than that, really. Anyhow, let's stop that. Take you. Rotate you. Like so. Set you up just up over the bar. Just kind of try to eyeball the end into about halfway. Let's make sure that we're still sitting. Oh, that bar was just big enough. All right, let's see how this goes. It's running a whole lot slower now. I have an offset of 5 millimeters in there. I'm going to take that back down to 2.5. Let's see what that does. Yeah, I think we'll leave it like that. Okay, now let me see if I can get maybe a couple of folds this way. And maybe call that folded up. Probably good. So, I wish there was what Marvelous Designer lacks is a way for me to just type in X90, I think. X90. See, nothing happens. I just changed my view. I need a way to numerically tell it exactly how much to rotate. Instead, I have to just eyeball it with the gizmo. Magwai. Okay, there we go. Marvelous Designer at this point is pretty much eating up most of my VRAM because that's what it likes to do. And I notice that it will just do that with even nothing in a scene if I'm just moving this around. All right, let's bring you back up this way. Let's move you over here. Let's see how straight are we looking. I don't know, I'm pretty good. So I'm going to fold this in half and then fold this in half, I think. We'll see how that works out. Or maybe I'll just fold it in half once and then we'll lay it down on the ground. I'm not sure I'm going to get a good fold this way. Well, let's try it. Let's stop that. It's getting a little bulky. So this might be the point where I don't know, let's see how this goes. This is going to be the final fold if I do any more folds. And if this doesn't look good, we're just going to go back and yeah, that's not working. I don't think that we're going to go back to, you know what, we're going to go right to there. We're going to lay this on the ground and get it to flatten, let it settle down. And then that's going to become the folded up. So let's kind of get you down into here. Pretty close. I'll just let it settle down onto itself. And then we'll just call it a day on that. Let me see if I could. That's probably going to be good enough. We're going to live with that. I'm going to call that folded up. And we are done futzing around with the morphs. File, export, OBJ selected. I'm mountain projects. That's right. It's because I went and got that bar. Okay, fold it up. Say okay to that. Hop back over to here. Load that in as a morph target. Fold it up. Okay, accept that. Oh no. It's because I got the wrong thing selected. Okay, I didn't have the sarong selected. That was my problem. That only happens half the time. See, that's better. Morph selected, created successfully. Yay. And there's our folded up. You know what? That actually, yeah, that'll be fine. I like that. All right. So I added some extra. So we're going to take these more. So we're also going to put them in the Genesis 8 version. So get in the edit mode. Select these. Use the handy dandy. I vibe coded a script. So that basically changed their color and put them over here. So now they're in with all the other special morphs. So let's come over here. Product. Oh, that open front and open rear. I'd have to redo those for the Genesis 8. I'm going to maybe do those later. Although I might try something. Although it's probably not going to work. Say base. Come over here. Let's just do the special morphs. Accept that. Should be good. I'm going to hit save on thumbnails. Hide you. I'm just going to run over here real quick. I'm going to load in a Genesis 8 real quick. All right. Okay, that is the undone version. So let's load. I'm going to load this in for just a second. I can load these two in. Open that, accept. So those are all fine. Right, so there's the flat morph. There's the folded up morph. This is actually the shape of the Genesis 8 Sarong. So I'm going to turn this on and then we're going to load in those other two. So it kind of, I may have to redo these, but I might not. We'll see how this works out. So we're going to bring in the open front and open rear. Accept those. Okay, Control Shift F, set that back, and let's see how this looks. You know what? That's not too bad. I think that gets me in the ballpark. I may not make additional morphs. The open rear seems to be okay. I might have to touch up the legs a little bit. I'll look at this more closely there. I might pop it into ZBrush and do some cleanup. That might be running into each other a little bit, so I may have to, but this is in the ballpark. So what I don't need is I don't need you anymore. So let's delete that. Let's recolor these and list them as special. So another over here with the special morphs. Flat, fold it up, open front, open rear. Okay, is good. Let's save all of that out. I'm just going to save the special morphs out. Okay, should be good. All right, let me look at the new outfit now. So that's all I'm going to do for this for right now. So we got all the thumbnails for the main parts. All the material files are done. I still have to do the D-Force. I need to do some special morphs for the top still. We need hierarchical material. These have already been renamed, so they're good. So that's what's left to do on this. So we're going to put you to the side. I'm going to shut Marvelous Designer down and reload it. Blender's probably okay to close down. The only thing I have to save in here is this shape, and it's actually saved as an OBJ, so I don't really need to save a blend file for that. And let's take a look at the next project. And maybe someday I'll do towels. I think I'm going to put towels on the near list. Maybe project after this or the project after this will be towels. Now that I'm getting handy at folding towels. Fold towels, I'll roll towels. We'll put towels on people that open up. Everybody always loves towels that open up, don't they? And of course you would get tattered towels that open up, and you get short towels, and I'll include washcloths. Not that you want to wear a washcloth, but I don't know. What am I doing? All right, Marvelous Designer. This is going to be some sort of fantasy armor thing. You know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put part of it into Blender and work on it a little bit over there. I set up part in Marvelous Designer with the idea that I was going to finish it off. The breast cups I want to do in Blender because I think I can do those better in Blender than Marvelous Designer. I'm going to want, so this thing, I've got a top and a bottom so far. I think I want to make like a headpiece. So let's open projects. I think I just stuck this in fantasy for right now because I haven't got a name for it yet. Armor. I've just only called it armor right now. And currently it is looking like this. I'm going to put the cups on in. So I'm going to fill this out and shape it. And I think that would be a little easier to get what I want in Blender. So we have a bottom. We have an armor top. We're going to have what? Pauldrons and maybe something up here. We'll put something van braces. I'm going to have thigh boots with armor that'll come up to the knees. A sword belt with a sword and maybe a kind of armored headpiece. Not quite a helmet. It'll look kind of Greek, is what I'm thinking. So that's sort of what. Let me find the belt. I started a belt. And I think this is good. I'm going to move you guys. I'm probably going to redo all the UVs in Blender. So I'm going to take everything in Blender and we're going to detail it out. So this isn't going to be really dynamic, which should kind of be probably a pain in the ass. And very, but Chris, how do you, it doesn't, where's the hanging wharf for the armor? We're not going to do that. So are you quads? You're say triangles. Let's say quad optimized on you. File and export and OBJ selected. And we need names for fantasy armor. Let's go ask ChatGTP for help. 12 names for a sexy set of fantasy armor. Go away. Why are you asking me? The Velvet Valkyrie, no. Ember Kiss, Battle Harness, Moonlit Siren, Crimson Temptress. Maybe I should just said Obsidian, Aegeus. What is Aegeus? Is that a cruiser? Uh, it's a protective cloak. Oh, that's the reason why we got. Oh, I kind of like Obsidian Aegeus. Let's maybe consider that without the desire part. And let's go shopping at Daz to see what we have that's called Obsidian or Aegeus. Let's see if there's anything called Aegeus already at Daz. So the first part is to come up with ideas. The second part is to see what is out there already. NH style Aegeus. Is that a character or what is that? I think that's a character. I think I can say Obsidian Aegeus. Oh, did I use Obsidian before? There's an Aegeus outfit. So maybe here, let's try Obsidian. I think I used Obsidian for my. Did I use Obsidian for the spy outfit? D-Force Obsidian superhero outfit. So maybe Obsidian Aegeus outfit. Obsidian weapons. You know what? I think Obsidian Aegeus. I don't know. Let's see what the other options, what the other suggestions. Aurora Veil. Infernal, Infernal, Silver Spell, Siren. Actually, Silver Spell, I like that. Although I think I'm going to use that with a magic outfit, and I'm probably going to forget that before I get there. Uh, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to steal Silver Spell right now. Let's just double check. Nothing quite like using something and finding out there's a Genesis 8, 9 outfit already existing with the same name. Nothing. We got nothing. I think I'm going to be good with that one. I'm going to go ahead and put a placeholder folder for this for a sexy mage outfit in the future. Where am I? Projects. Fantasy. Let's do that right here. New folder. Silver Spell. There we go. Shadow. Roseblade. Roseblade armor. I kind of like that actually. Are we getting anything that actually says rose? Or are we picking up on? We're picking up on blade, is what it's picking up on. All right, Roseblade it is. New folder. Roseblade. There we go. All right, let's set up a template folder for this. Let's grab those. Let's pop into here and paste those in here. Did I grab a whip folder? I did not. I need a whip folder in here. People, Genesis 8, clothing, me. Okay, here's where we're going to say Roseblade right there. And I want one down in here. And then down in here. This is the texture folders. Right there. Okay, template folders. Right there. All right. And now I'm going to so you're in fantasy. There it is, Roseblade, whip, and right in here, Control V, Roseblade, top G9. Are you not? You are so not better. Okay. I'm going to come back and fix. I'm just going to work on this for right now. And we'll come back. I don't think we're going to have time today. Maybe, what is this today? Today's Thursday, right? So Saturday, maybe we'll work on getting the boots. I want to do thigh boots. We'll have armor that comes up to the knees, on the legs. Oh, I wanted to get my, I'm going to go ahead and save you into here. And let's go get the belt. Where did I save the belt? I think the belt's in odds and ends. I think. I'm not sure I'll use this belt or not. I might change. I was trying to do one of those wrappy kind of ring belts, but I'm not sure that's going to end up looking good or not. Odds and ends begins with an O. And I don't know, can I sort you by, let's do details. That's kind of an unhappy sound. I have no idea where I saved this belt. Did I even save this belt? Oh no. I don't see it there. Let's cancel that. Um, Here, let's do a complete search of the system for ZProj. And we're going to do. Can I not see by date? Date modified. Okay, there's armor. There's sword belt. Where did you get? Oh, you're right there in fantasy. Okay. I'm going to save that as a garment and bring it into here. Or can I just import add? Or can I just add project fantasy sword belt? Let's try this. We're going to do add garment. Okay. So I want you to kind of sit on top of this. That needs a little bit of work. And I'm not sure. This will look cool if I can get it to work right. But I don't know. It might be a little overly complicated. I got no gravity on right now, though, do I? And once again, Marvel's Designer has eaten up all the VRAM. It's like playing Hungry Hungry Hippos with an app. All your VRAM be mine. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Getting this down here over the leg might cause problems that I'm going to regret later on. So it might be easier just to put a simple belt buckle here and then just hang the sword off. I'm going to try to keep my sword length down this time. My sword lengths always look a little long even though I measure them out. Anyhow, let's pop this over in the blender and work out the cups a little bit better. Let's do that. So I'm going to hit save on you. So we're going to come back to you later on. I'm still not exactly sure what I want this outfit to look like, but I have got to start, so we'll just move along with that. Unsaved, Blender 5.0. Okay, do that. Bring you over here. Hello, Mr. Default QB. You know what? You I don't want anymore. Put you back over here. Let's import. I'm not even going to bring the other. We're just going to work on it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill. Do I got nice center lines in here? You know what? Since we're doing this in Blender, we're going to delete half. Make sure that center line sets right at 0, and we'll mirror model this. The center line's not quite at 0, but it's pretty close. So we should be able to do that. Grab these. Scale on the X to 0. Oops, I didn't get them all. Scale on the X to 0. Come over here and make sure that that actually says 0. And then we can use a mirror modifier on this. And we'll split up the UVs later on. But for right now, I'm looking for you. Just do that for right now. And I'm going to fill this in and try to make a dome out of it. So we're going to start like that. And then I'm just going to put an inset in there. Hot mess, I know. Oh, magic loop tools. Why are you not, why did you not circle up properly? You know what? I'm going to flatten you out and then we're going to use the magic loop tools. Sculpt. What I really need to do is I need to be able to see. See, I didn't want it to do that. All right, let's see if magic loop tools work a little better here. That's fine. I can probably start with that. I'm going to add a bunch of loop cuts in here. So do I want to make you still a little bit smaller maybe? I think so. And then I'm just going to do that. And give myself some extra definition in there. And then we're going to take this and we'll pull it out using a yada yada yada. Is that a technical term? I could always circle these up. I think, I don't know, let's try. So if we loop tool and circle these, all right, what if I use a normal, let me just pull you out a little. And I need to get a Genesis 9 in here now to model against, just to make sure that I'm actually covering the breasts. So let's do a, and we're working to the feminine, puppy, puppy. Okay, there we go. So we got to make sure we're covering that with this. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to pull it out and we're going to use a, I think I'll do a sphere, and I can't see what I want is, I'm going to eventually fix this n-gon. And we'll just adjust that fall off to just kind of get the breast cup. Right about there, it looks good. It actually should be done a little bit. You know what? That's not too bad. This could be a little. So I could probably maybe G-slide this down a little bit, put a little bit of a cut in it, give it a little bit more. I don't know, let's try this. I got a little tight up there. You know what? I think I just need to tweak you. What I do need to be doing is not moving that edge. And I'm going to dissolve that one out. Let's try that. Yo, SROM, how are you doing? That's right. We're looking at huge tracts of land. Let's just dissolve those edges out. I'm trying to just make the shape a little, maybe like that. I think that'll be fine. All right, let's get rid of this and maybe we'll just grid fill it out. Call it a day. Well enough doing a bit of research. Oh yeah? What are we watching this weekend? What's is that what we're researching or something else? What were we watching last week? Robert Coltrane, wasn't that it? I think that's what we were watching last week. And I think you played some Robert Coltrane afterwards. Although at that time of night I start fading out fast. I remember watching most of the documentary though. So everybody check out SROM Music, by the way. I don't know, did I ever make an SROM command? I guess I didn't. Anyhow, we'll do the old school. Check out our good friend SROM Music because he's cool. And we've been having injury reserve streams recently, and they're kind of cool. But if you're not there, you don't get to see it. That's how it works here in the Twitch verse. Um, how are you looking if I just grid fill it? If I just grid fill this puppy? What if we just grid fill you? Where's my grid fill? It's over here somewhere. That actually, I think brings more attention to it. You know, I think I'm just gonna do this and emerge in the middle, and we'll just live with that. I think I'm going to go with that. All right, I think I'm going to add some detailing in right in here. Sidemen Week showed Standing Up in the Shadows of Motown yesterday. Oh, nice. The Wrecking Crew tonight. Ooh, the Wrecking Crew. The legendary Wrecking Crew. Immediate family tomorrow. Oh, every night. Dang, I haven't been paying attention. I'm used to just looking for you on Saturdays, dude. I'm going to put a little, and we're just going to add some detailing in here. Because who doesn't like a nice big cup across the breasts, even though it is incredibly impractical? So we're just going to bring those out just a little bit, like so. And yes, I'm doing some research for some of the records you don't know from members of the immediate family. Oh, neat. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of a bevel on that, but just so I can then delete these off. And it leaves me a little bit nicer shape around the edge. Okay, and then I want, so I want a little bit of an edge through here. How do I want to do that? And through here. You know Leland Skyler really well, but less so the other dudes. I'm not even sure if the is this the immediate family or is this the Wrecking Crew? I've heard of the Wrecking Crew, and I vaguely recall were they Phil Spector? It's the '60s when the sound of music changed forever. It's funny. You can listen to stuff from the late '60s, and it sounds is almost as well recorded as you get contemporary stuff. But stuff from the early '60s, when you got multiple track. Phil was one of the producers that, yeah, I think the Wall of Sound, he used the Wrecking Crew and that sort of stuff. He's one of those classic mad geniuses. Something seriously wrong with that man. But, but, um, his contribution to music changed it forever. Probably had just mental health issues, but because he's rich, he can't. I don't know. We just don't deal with mental health, or they didn't deal with mental health issues that really needed to. And if you're rich and you don't want the help, you certainly, well, actually, even if you're poor and you don't want the help, if you're rich and you don't want to help, you're just eccentric. People will tolerate you. If you're poor and you don't want to help, you just live on Skid Row. And now my Zimzalabim mug is empty. So I need to add. I'm thinking how to get some extra details into here. You know what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to just pull some of this stuff up and put or maybe I should just put kind of a solidify on it. Part of the problem is I'm not sure what I'm doing yet with this. So I'm still basically designing. I do know I want edges in here. Let's try this. I'm going to add a solidify modifier. Uh, it's 9 o'clock. Oops. I'm going to add a solidify modifier and we're going to call it a day. We're going to see who's on tonight. I'm going to keep an eye out for. What time do you usually go on, Esra? Do you have a time? As in my Taddy mug. Good call. Yeah, I actually won the mug. And I had to get it twice because the shipper destroyed it the first time. Still. Hey, everybody, check out Zimzalabim. She's cool. If you're lucky, you could catch her streaming on Mondays. Let's say 0.002. We're going to do the rim only. And I'm going to call it a night right about there. Doc starts at 8 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9, 10, 11, 11 o'clock my time, which is 2 hours from now. I did not. Sim's got a copy, a comic. I should go get it. Um, I'm going to hunt it down and post a link here. It's funny, I have Zim on all the time, but I'm not really listening. Whenever Chris rates her in the morning, um, I'm always there, but I have a really, really good and underpriced. Oh no. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. We're going to call it a day here. We will be back on Saturday. We're probably going to be working on this outfit, which is sexy armor thing. No, actually, it has a name now. I forgot. We named it earlier, didn't we? I've already forgotten. Something blade? Honey trap? No, that's um I've already. What am I calling you? What am I calling you? So I'm also classically terrible at what the marketing, self promotion. Yeah, I'm not really good at it. I try to post regularly to Instagram, X, and some other place, and a couple of other places when I get a new product, but that's about it for marketing. And I stream, and I tell people how wonderful I am. so there's that. Um, let's go to projects. Let's go to fantasy. This is why I wrote this stuff down. Roseblade. We're calling this Roseblade. So Roseblade is going to have a top. It's going to have a bottom. I think we're going to have thigh plates. We're going to have thigh boots with shin guards. We're going to put greaves and shoulder armor. And I might put some sort of armored headpiece on. And we're going to make a belt with a sword. In fact, thankfully, Catherine told you how to make how good the comic was, so you were able to snag a copy. Oh, cool. I keep missing Catherine too, because she comes on at times I'm not expecting her to. Like she was probably on earlier today, wasn't she? My my twitching has been gone down a little bit. All right, anyhow, thank you all for being here. Ezra, good to see you. What is it, 8 o'clock tonight? You will be streaming. I will try to remember to check that out. Or 11 o'clock Eastern time. Let's see who is on the Twitch first tonight, and let's go hang out with somebody else. And now I can hear myself in the background. Oh no. And now I can hear myself in the background. There, now I can't. Excellent. 2 to 5 p.m. Pacific times Tuesday for Thyron. For Catherine. Right. Outernet. Is Outernet still on? Outernet's got 44 people. I don't care. Outernet's a super cool cat. We're just going to go over and hang out with Outernet. So he's one of those guys I've known probably, I want to say from 2019, although it might be 2020. We both ran into each other in the music community, hanging out with cool music streamers. Anyhow, let's go over and hang out with Outernet. He's a super cool cat, even if he's just plucking around on a guitar, which looks like he's doing tonight. I'm lurking him. He's a great guy. I love Outernet. Anyhow, let's do this. If there's anybody who wants to stick around for the raid, I still don't have my raid calls fixed, and I've been saying that for a month. I'm going to get them fixed eventually, but we're going to go over and say hi to Outernet. Just throw whatever raid emotes you got into the chat over there. Hey, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. That would be great. If you're on Twitch, feel free to stick around for the raid. I'm going to start that now. I will be back Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be probably working on this outfit. Maybe I can get a better idea what I want to do with this. Maybe not. We'll see. I'm probably way too close to the next. Next always give me problems. Anyhow, what am I doing? We're gonna raid Outernet. Just because we can. There we go. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. Did that raid get started? I'm not watching my channel over there. Why am I not on my channel over here? What the hell? What the freaking hell, dude? Dun 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 dun. Is my raid started? My raid has been started. We got 4 viewers. We're rating an 876. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. I hope you have a good rest of Thursday or Friday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And hasta la vista, baby.